AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. LSU quarterback commit Landon Clark will be here in 15 minutes from right now. Tigers got some other good news here on Sunday night into Monday morning as former Ole Miss wide receiver Winston Winnie Watkins picked the Tigers. Make that official. He's good enough to join us here. Winnie, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How was your visit?
It was amazing. The facilities, the people, of course, I already know. It's just incredible. You know, it's a blessing to be there.
Hey, did you visit LSU when you were being recruited out of high school?
No, sir.
Okay, so first time on campus. What was your biggest takeaway?
True, just really like the technology is just like time seems better than Ole Miss. You know, Ole Miss is still like older to me. I would say like everything in the building, just like the computers, the VR setup they got on for the facility is amazing. The treatment, the people, you know, there's just so many resources that you could use that's just 10 times better than a lot of places.
You know, you went into the portal. LSU was your first visit, right?
Yep.
So first visit, committed. Why not take any other visits?
I was going to take other visits, but I heard it's like a little dead period that's coming up, and I didn't want to wait after that because then a lot of spots was going to end up closing. So I was like, you know, this is a great opportunity I got. I don't want to waste no other time and go somewhere else and mess up the opportunity I already have.
You know, there's a lot of people who have talked about the relationship you have with Coach Kiffin and with the staff. In your own words, how would you describe your relationship with Coach Kiffin and Coach Weiss and the rest of the staff?
It's great. You know, coming from Ole Miss, we already had a great relationship. We went on a nice little run, you know, and then Coach Kiffin had to depart and head over to LSU, as everyone may know.
Sure.
But when we were there together, our relationship was amazing. You know, that's my guy. Like, he always made sure that I was good. He always looked out for me and looked at my best interests. So I feel like Coach Kiffin's a great guy, you know. At the end of the day, I feel like his decisions he makes is his own personal business, and I don't take nothing that he did in the past, like, against me or the team that he coached.
Winnie Watkins is with us. Winnie, you got to clear something up for me, man. I've seen different reports of you at 5'9" and reports of you at 6'2". How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, all right, you're fine. Because I'm looking. Paul, can you pull this up? Like, I'm looking at the ESPN homepage,
yeah.
Bro. It's got you.
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how that happened.
Okay,
it was like that the whole season too, and they never changed it.
Dude, 5'9" and 6'2" is like a giant disgrace. It's not like 5'9". You know, sometimes they'll fudge like 5-10 pounds here or something. Like, he's really 5'10", but they got him listed at 6 foot. 5'9" and 6'2" is a dramatic. That's like 5 inches of difference, man. So, okay, so you're 5'10". If I asked you to describe your game, like, what style of receiver are you? How would you answer that?
True, I'm really like a game changer. Like, I feel like you put the ball in my hands, I'm gonna make a play. Every time I touch the ball, it's gonna always be an explosive play. Like, I like just, you know what I'm saying, getting in the open field, making plays. I can route someone up. It's so many different ways I can beat you. You know, like, I'm a very physical blocker. So, like, to be honest, I really got so many different ways of how I play. I can't really compare myself to one specific person. A lot of people say like Elijah Moore, and I see it a little bit like when they say it, because Elijah Moore definitely kind of reminds me of my game. But, you know, it's kind of different to me. Like, I have a different type of play style, I would say.
You're the ninth, or LSU added another one today, but that's 9 receivers they've added in this portal class. When you look at that, any hesitation that you're just coming into a really crowded receiver room?
At first, yeah. Before I came on my visit, I definitely was like hesitating to figure out like what was going on. But at the same time, once I came on my visit, everything like cleared up for me. I got a better understanding of everything and realized that at the end of the day, I'm gonna go in there, compete, do what I'm supposed to. And if I take care of my business, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And Winnie Watkins is with us. So what did they tell you about how they that cleared that up for you?
Really, pretty much just basically like these are the same guys I worked with when I was at Ole Miss, and we're coming from having a deep room at Ole Miss. You know, we had 5 to 6 guys, 7 guys, you know, getting the ball in the pass game, and we had to work together to be great, you know. And at the end of the day, like, I was a freshman last year. So as my freshman year, me getting 20-something catches, I really wasn't even supposed to play when you think about it, because Kiffin really doesn't play no freshman, but I earned it, you know. From January when I first came in all the way till the season, I kept working and fought my way to being able to be in that rotation. And eventually I got playing time, you know. And if I just come here and do what I'm supposed to, it's a whole different situation because I'm not a freshman anymore. They know how I play. I'm a, you know what I'm saying? I'm an up-and-coming sophomore, and I understand the offense. So now it should be a whole different program this year.
Big play waiting to happen. Winnie Watkins is our guest here for a few more minutes. Did you consider it all like staying and going back to Ole Miss for your sophomore year?
Nah, I never considered about going back to Ole Miss. I definitely knew I wanted to leave. Was it
always sort of your idea to think, because Coach Kiffin had recruited you as a freshman out of high school, that maybe you wanted to follow him?
As soon as Kiffin left and went to LSU, I definitely had like an idea of wanting to leave instantly because Coach Kiffin is like a receiver genius. When I did my visit as a high schooler coming in, I was looking at everything he had and what he did from the past, and it was just like incredible. You know, he had tons of guys over thousands of yards. He got tons of guys in the NFL that just play the wide receiver position. It's like a no-brainer.
Is it going to be weird after playing for Ole Miss, putting on the purple and gold?
Nah, yeah, for sure. I got on a sweatsuit right now, and it kind of feels crazy to me.
I can imagine, man. It's just what it is, man. It's kind of like free agency in the NFL. You know, you get drafted by a certain team, maybe you sign somewhere else. It's just the nature of it, man.
I got to definitely get used to it. It's definitely different, but I love it right now, though. It looks amazing.
Hey, man, tell us before you go. Tell us something that LSU fans maybe don't know about Lane Kiffin or about Charlie Weiss. We're all getting to know these guys. They've just been here for a little while.
I would say people on Twitter take a lot of stuff that Coach Kiffin says on Twitter like super serious, but in reality, he's a good guy. He's pretty fun to be around, and he has a lot of personality. So, don't take everything he says on Twitter serious. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. Like, you know, he be playing around. And then Coach Weiss is a great guy too. Me and his relationship grew more as the playoffs because once Coach Kiffin left, Coach Weiss started like stepping up and talking a lot more. And during the playoffs, it was great to finally get to have an understanding of what he thinks like, and moving into a new program, just growing my relationship with Coach Weiss. And he's a great guy too. And I definitely could tell that he loves what he does, and he's a great offensive coordinator.
What about George McDonald? So he's your position coach is coming over too.
Yep. Yeah. G-Mac, that's my guy too. You know, sometimes we battle it out, but at the end of the day, we both know we love each other, and we got like a really good relationship and like understanding each other. You know, like at the end of the day, we know we both got a job to get done, and he's a really good receiver coach. And when we was at Ole Miss, he really helped me figure out things I need to figure out to be able to get on that field. Like, he was just telling me, like, you got to follow the plan, stick to the plan, you do what you're supposed to, everything will work itself out.
Hey, do you prefer people call you Winston or Winnie?
It doesn't matter to me. A lot of people call me Winnie because of my TikTok, but, like, it doesn't, whatever anybody else wants to call me, I ain't even tripping.
What do your friends call you?
Both.
All right, I'll go with Winnie, man. I'll go Winnie like Winnie the Pooh. I like that, man. There we go. We'll roll with Winnie.
Yeah.
He is Winston Winnie Watkins, new LSU wide receiver. Hey, man, congrats on your decision. Good health, continued success, and all that stuff, man. We'll catch up down the road, okay?
Yes, sir. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. We appreciate it. That is Winston Winnie Watkins coming over from Ole Miss. Guy who might be throwing him some passes, Landon Clark, is going to join us here in just a quick second. Committed to LSU. Out of Elon. We'll get to that in a second. We are brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com with locations all over South Louisiana. You're never far from a Shaw Bills location, ShawBillsTire.com. Remember, name brand tires at wholesale prices. They'll treat you like family, which keep you coming back year after year after year. As a matter of fact, I think I told you this last week. The little oil change indicator came on my dash. I'm due for an oil change, so you know where to go. You go to Shawbills. I mean, it's one of many things they can do. Tire rotations, you check engine lights on, brakes squeaking, need new wipers, everything. They can help you out over at Shawbills. But, of course, they're going to sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. So if you're in the market for new tires, you go to the website. There's a promotions tab at the top as well. You can see all the specials. And what they do is they work really hard to combine like the manufacturer offer with their own in-house offer, and they'll pair those to get you the best price possible. They guarantee it, as a matter of fact. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen. Buy tires at Shawbills, see them advertised cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. It's crazy. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills. Well, we keep you rolling. Thanks to Winnie Watkins, man. Good convo. It was interesting. Like, that's one of the, if any of these portal commitments are surprising, that should be the least surprising. It's one of the ones that we sort of had talked about. As soon as Lane Kiffin came over, there were a handful of guys that, for all intents and purposes, seemed like through agents, representation, stuff like that, were going to happen. He told you he never gave any consideration to going back to Ole Miss. That it was always, as soon as Lane Kiffin left, he was going to leave. And interesting, he didn't set up other visits. There's a dead period right now. Couldn't take other visits. Had the offer from LSU, so he took it. So, and he's 5'10", not 6'2" or 5'9". That's a big discrepancy. Like, who at ESPN.com screwed that up? I mean,
and how do you screw that up? Like, that's not like a typo. Like, you can't just say, oh, it's a typo.
If you're looking at the chart, like if you're looking at the Ole Miss roster, like maybe you're looking at a different receiver.
Maybe.
Because there's like Deuce Wallace, right, who I think is 6'2". Maybe they're going through it, scanning like you have Watkins and Wallace right by each other.
Fair.
And so you go, 6'2", and you just mess it up. But you would think, I mean, you just said, look, they screwed that up all season long. I mean, you figured at some point they would have changed that, but whatever. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. From the pass catcher to the passer, Landon Clark, LSU quarterback commitment out of Elon. He's going to join us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you haven't called River City's 1 Hour Air yet for your heater safety check, it's not too late, y'all. And, last night, temps got down into the 30s. We're looking at 30s for the lows all this week. So you're going to be cranking up that heater. And, one of the reasons really why I implore you to call River City's 1 Hour Air, look, this is standard maintenance. We just talked about, like an oil change for your vehicle. You should do this every year, in the spring for your AC and in the fall as you move into the winter for your heater to make sure it's clean, safe, efficient, tuned up, ready to run efficiently, which will extend the life of the unit. It'll make it run more efficiently so you save money, but also for safety. Man, sometimes you hear funny noises or smells from your heater. Don't risk that, y'all. Call River City's 1 Hour and make sure the thing is running safe. 752-0001, 752-0001.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Clark on 3rd and goal. Here's a blitz. Goes short. Touchdown, Phoenix.
Hope to hear that time and time again in the purple and gold. Landon Clark, LSU's first quarterback commit in this portal class. Good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? Yeah, thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure, man. Thank you for making the time and what's got to be a really busy time. Start with a pretty obvious one, man. Why'd you pick the Tigers?
Man, it's the hot place to be right now. I think it's one of the best. It's definitely the best environment in college football. I mean, as a 20-year-old kid, why would you not want to run out that tunnel into Death Valley? And, I mean, just on top of it, the coaching staff, man, Coach Wise, Coach Kiffin, why would you not want to play for these guys? I mean, these are the best coaches in the nation.
Saw a video of you on your official visit, standing there watching the video board in Tiger Stadium. Walk me through what that moment was like for you.
It was amazing. It's something that I've dreamed of my whole life, being in that position, standing in that stadium. Just, you can, when you walk in that stadium, you can feel the history, and it's something I want to be a part of. And hopefully, I can put my name into the history books one day in LSU.
Was this your Final Four included Michigan, James Madison, and Kentucky? How tough was this decision for you?
Honestly, the visit I was looking forward to the most was this LSU one, and that's it was on the back end because the plan was in place to meet Coach Weiss because he was still coaching at the time at Ole Miss. But I was looking forward to the LSU one more than any. And when I went there and my second day there, it felt right. Like I already knew this is where I wanted to be. There's no other place like it. And this is where I'll hopefully be, successful one day.
Landon Clark is our guest. He's on Twitter at _Landon Clark, Landen Clark. Y'all give him a follow, give him a shout out. Hey, let's go back through that recruitment then if we could, Landon. You said obviously LSU was on the back end because Charlie Weiss was still coaching. When did LSU first reach out to you?
They reached out to me as soon as the portal opened. They were actually one of the first schools to kind of come into consideration for me. And a big thing for me is, just being genuine and loyalty and things like that, like just being honest with your word, keeping your word. And they've done that since their very first conversation that they've had with me and also my agent. Everything from the moment they first talked to my agent till they first talked to me, everything has correlated in the same exact way. And everything has happened the way that they said it's going to happen, which is really huge for me.
Mm. Can you go a little deeper there and maybe elaborate, like maybe give me an example of something that they said was going to happen that way and it played out that way?
For example, they said, hey, Landon, we want you to come down here on Friday and Saturday so you can meet Coach Weiss. Well, Coach Weiss, obviously, he coached in a game Thursday night against Miami. They ended up losing, which sucks. But it's good for LSU because now he's all in.
Right.
And he had a long day of traveling on Friday. That was my first day there on that visit. And we went out to dinner. It was Coach Dane, the quarterback coach. We were sitting there. It was me, my family, another recruit, an O-lineman from Tennessee who actually committed. It was his family as well, the O-line coach, a couple other coaches, and Coach Weiss actually showed up. And that really meant a lot to me. They were true to the word. They said, hey, Coach Weiss is going to be at dinner. Me, I wanted him to go rest. He had just worked his tail off. I know the way that he is, the man he is, the coach he is. I know he worked his tail off. I wanted him to go home and rest. But seeing him show up to that dinner, it really meant a lot to me, and it showed how much that they really cared.
Did you have a relationship with anybody on this staff before they first reached out when you entered the portal?
No, I actually didn't.
Wow. What was your – this is really interesting because we're talking about a very compressed time frame. So basically 10 days ago, right, that they first reached out to you. So, this is like warp speed from that to now being committed. Did they tell you how they found you?
No, they actually didn't. They have their ways, and Coach Kiffin and Coach Weiss are incredible. So they have their ways. They didn't tell me, but I'm sure it was crazy.
Yeah. I know I've seen, just following your social media since you've been here and all, kind of, you've talked a little bit about this, about how, Elon was the first to give you the opportunity to play college football. Did you have much of a high school recruitment?
I didn't have too much of a high school recruitment at all. I was actually, I got recruited a lot to play safety. I originally thought that I was going to play safety in college, and ultimately that's what I wanted to do at that time. But Elon came in and they told me that they wanted me to be their quarterback, and I had never heard that, throughout my whole process. So it kind of shifted my mind, and, deep down I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to play quarterback. Maybe this is for me.
Does watching – this is an obvious one that you're probably going to answer 1,000 times every interview you do, I'm sure. Did watching Trinidad Chambliss this year at Ole Miss in this offense have an impact on your decision?
1,000%. 1,000%.
How walk me through that a little bit and how you processed watching him go from a small school to the success he had.
It was honestly amazing, how under the radar he was, jumping from a D2 school to Ole Miss, and ultimately he kind of they weren't bringing him in to be the guy, and he just came in, he worked his tail off, and now he's going to be probably the third quarterback picked off the board. He's probably going to be a first-round pick, and seeing how they brought somebody from that level and just completely, I wouldn't say changed his game, because Trinidad has always been a really, really good player. Just kind of, they gave him this level of popularity and playing on this high stage of football, and just letting him show the world what he can do. That's really kind of made me think, like, man, I think that I can do the same exact thing.
What did this coaching staff tell you about your role in 2026? They have said it is the same exact role how Trinidad was when he came into Ole Miss. So it's honestly pretty cool, sitting back and watching, like going back in time, before I had ever talked to LSU, just watching college football in general, hearing about this Trinidad Chambliss kid, and kind of reading a little bit about his story and seeing how this is all falling into place. It's been really, really cool. Now, today they also took a commitment from Sam Leavitt. What's your reaction to seeing that news?
My reaction, I expected it, because we sat down, the coaching staff and we sat down and we had that conversation, kind of their plan and idea for the portal. So I fully expected it, and I would have never announced, my commitment to that place if I was unaware of something like that.
What about, because they also brought in Husan Longstreet this weekend, and some talk that maybe they're looking at a third. Would that be okay with you if they added a third?
Yeah. I mean, that's simple. They got to fill the quarterback room up. That's just that's how college football is. The way that everything has shifted and changed is pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm a pretty competitive person. I like to go out there and compete. So I'm going to work my tail off and control what I can control.
Got a couple more for you. Your time very much appreciated. Landon Clark is our guest, LSU quarterback commit. By the way, have you signed? Is it like official, or are you committed?
I haven't officially signed, but I have committed.
Okay. How would you describe your game?
I would say I'm a dual threat quarterback. If I had to stick my nose in there and get dirty, lower my shoulder to get an extra yard, I'm gonna do it. I'm whatever the coaches, whatever the team, anything, whatever they need, I'm willing to do it. If it means that at the end of the day our team is going to be successful, we're going to be put in the best situation possible, then I'm going to do it.
Where would you say you need your biggest, or is the biggest room for improvement?
For me, I would say it's definitely just my pocket presence and taking the jump from FCS to SEC. The practice reps that I'm going to get in the spring are going to be huge for my development as a player. And because ultimately going in this spring ball, those are game reps. Taking those reps and, using them to my advantage will help me a lot. Had
you been to Louisiana before you came for your visit?
No, it was my first time.
What'd they feed you, man?
We went to this little, the newer thing. It's like a pickleball restaurant. It's kind of like Topgolf, but with pickleball.
Yeah. It's court to table. Great spot.
Yep. Yeah, it was good food too. And then that night we went to Colonel's, the steakhouse.
Yeah, Colonel's Club. Yep.
That was really good. The next day we went to SoFlo for lunch. Those were the three restaurants we went, but the food was amazing.
You're gonna gain some weight, bro. I promise you that much, man. Make sure you try to keep the carbs down as best you can, and run. But when the summer gets here, you ain't gonna worry about it, man. Just walk outside, you'll start sweating. He is Landon Clark, LSU quarterback. You'll get him on Twitter, X, whatever, @_Landon Clark. You want to give him a follow. And man, we appreciate the time. You're very generous to jump aboard with us during a really busy time. Good health, continued success, and all that stuff, man. We'll catch you when you get to town. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. That is LSU quarterback Landon Clark. You love stories like that, man. It's there's an honesty, a transparency that goes along with it, and the other part too, when you talk about how the job that the LSU staff did in recruiting him, and being transparent. And then the other thing, too, did you hear what he said about Charlie Weiss going to dinner that first night? How it was the day that he got back to town from losing the Fiesta Bowl against Miami. And no doubt, a long day of travel, was tired, but showed up at dinner because he said he would. And I think it goes to illustrate again the challenge that this coaching staff had, the back and forth, trying to build this roster while continuing to coach at Ole Miss. And you heard Landon Clark say it there as well. Like, the reason LSU was his last visit was because they wanted to make sure Charlie Weiss was here, but because of the back and forth, they had to postpone it. So thankfully, LSU was able to navigate all of this the way they did. And, the Trinidad Chambla story is something to sell, man. If you're a lower division quarterback, like Landon Clark at Elon in the FCS, hey, look at what we just did with this kid from Ferris State in Division II. Just turned him into a first round. We saw the talent, developed him in our offense, made him a first round talent. Okay. That's a powerful story to tell. Anyway, we appreciate Landon Clark. And Winnie Watkins before him, if you missed that. We'll get everything on demand. Remember, AFR On Demand is presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We've been like wall-to-wall LSU for the first half of this show, I should say. Let me knock out a quick break. Pro Football Focus has put out a new mock draft. I'm just going to be fascinated to see what these sites project, these prognosticators project the Saints to do with their top 10 picks. So we'll delve into that a little bit here. And in 30 minutes, I want to get you a full portal roundup. If it feels like you're swimming in it, don't worry. I'm going to make it concise with everything you need to know. That's coming up in 30 minutes at the top of hour number 3. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
REV. Let's Rev. Let'sRev.com. 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 Backed by 90 years of local service to our communities. We are talking about high-speed internet, home automation, cable, all of it. Home or business. There are more than 70,000 Rev customers between home and businesses that trust Rev. REV. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com. My guess is if you're like me, at some point in your life, you've been really frustrated with your cable or internet service provider. And maybe the inability to get someone on the phone, long wait times, talking to somebody overseas or in a different state at a call center that's not here. One of the great things about Rev, you never have to worry about that. They're all local. Their call center is local, right here. If you have an issue, call them. They're here. REV. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And we do shutters too.
Glad you're hanging out with us here. Always appreciate Brandon Holly and the crew over at Relief Windows. Y'all check them out. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. Going into the office, into their showroom, they do this 3D modeling. If you're like me and it's hard to just look at like a sample of what and think, okay, what's that going to look like in my home? They can do a whole 3D model to show you exactly what it'll look like in 3 dimension on your home. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. A Pro Football Focus has an NFL mock draft that they updated today. This is from... It is Max Chadwick over at PFF. They have Fernando Mendoza going number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. Dante Moore, number 2 to the Jets. Linebacker Arvell Reese, 3 to Ohio State. Look, we always know that there's going to be trades in the NFL draft, so take it for what it's worth. Reuben Bain, 4 to Tennessee. Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, 5 to the Giants. Jordan Tyson of Arizona State, the wide receiver, 6 to the Browns. That would bum me out if both those guys come off the board before the Saints pick. Caleb Downs, 7 to Washington. And then 8th overall, they have your New Orleans Saints taking Clemson defensive lineman Peter Woods. They write Brian Brzee hasn't lived up to the first-round billing through 3 seasons, so the Saints look to replace him with another Clemson defensive tackle here in Woods. Impressive 87.1 career PFF grade with prodigious power and quickness. at 6'3", 310. The interesting thing about Peter Woods is, as our buddy Mike Detillier would say, the look like Tarzan, play like Jane. Peter Woods fits the bill and the mold. The productivity wasn't there at Clemson. And it's something we talked about a ton leading up to the season opener with LSU and Clemson this year. So it's interesting because we have this sort of awareness of Peter Woods because we talked about those great defensive linemen from Clemson all throughout the offseason leading up to the season opener with LSU and Clemson. That would not sit super well with me if they went defensive line. And we know that the Saints, by and large, invest heavily in the NFL draft at the top of the NFL draft on the line of scrimmage, really on both sides of the line of scrimmage. If you look at like the New Orleans Saints NFL draft history, it's and I don't like. I'm not going to be opposed to drafting at the line of scrimmage. I mean, when you think about the great Saints teams, I mean, you were great when you had Jonathan Goodwin and you had the best guard tandem in the NFL and with Carl Nicks and Jari Evans, and you had Jermon Bushrod and you had Zach Strief. I mean, you were really good. You invested in your offensive line. And even on the defensive line, where they've drafted so heavily with guys like Cam Jordan and Sheldon Rankins, and all throughout and just look at here recently: Kelvin Banks this year, Taliese Fuaga last year, Brian Brzee. Before that, it was Olave and Penning on the line of scrimmage. Peyton Turner in 2021, Cesar Ruiz in 2020, McCoy was your highest ranked pick or highest rated pick in 2019. Davenport in 2018. I mean, it's just even in 2017 you had Lattimore, but you also had 2 first-round picks. You went with Ramchick in 2016. It was Sheldon Rankins. 2015, it was Andrus Peat. I mean, they all the way back to 2015, they've taken a lineman with a first-round pick or their top pick every year of the draft, except the 2 years where they had 2 first-round picks, they took a lineman with one of the 2 first-round picks. I mean, the point is, like, it's just very clear that's where this team is invested, and I'm good investing at the line of scrimmage, but sometimes you invest at the line of scrimmage, you have over-invested sometimes to the detriment of the rest of your roster. And I think with the Saints' misses on the line of scrimmage with some of these picks, it has left you vulnerable in other spots. And I think when we look at the New Orleans Saints this year, I hate to say it this way, but I think Brandon Staley's defense is almost going to be a victim of its success. And look, they struggled early, and I think there is still a little that remains to be seen because while over the second half of the season, they were one of the top-rated defenses in the NFL, that was against a lot of Jets, Titans, Bucks, Falcons. You know what I mean? Like you were playing the bottom of the league. Earlier in the season when you were facing better offenses like Seattle and Buffalo and the Rams, you were giving up, you were losing by double digits on the road in those losses. But you look at the Saints this year and their run defense, pretty much smack dab in the middle of the league in the run defense. So not great, but good enough to where I would say if you can survive, Brzee going into his 4th season, you invested in free agency in Devon Gottschall this past year, and you were more than serviceable on the defensive front, and you also used a draft pick, this past year on the big Texas defensive lineman, and Vernon Broughton with a 3rd-round pick who got injured. He'll be back next year. I think it's hard for me to justify using another top 10 pick on a lineman. I think you've got to get more explosive offensively. And the single biggest decision the Saints are going to have to make this offseason is what type of contract do they offer Chris Olave? Olave was 6th in the NFL in targets this year. We've talked about him plenty. He was 2nd-team All-Pro. By the way, congrats to him. My contention remains that I think Chris Olave, look, he stat compiled this year because he was 6th in the NFL in targets because the Saints didn't have any other receivers. They traded away Rashid Shaheed. Devon Vele got hurt late in the season. I mean, you're throwing a practice squad guys. So, yeah, Olave got all the targets. I think he really struggles against elite-level corners and struggles to make contested catches. As a number 2, I think he could be like the best number 2 in the NFL. But I think he's a bottom half number 1 in the league. So what they do financially as far as an investment in Olave is going to be interesting, but I think they got to add an explosive playmaker. That's why I'm hopeful that one of those top-tier wide receivers, if it's Tate or Tyson, are available at 8. And I'm not typically someone who's excited about using a top 10 pick on a receiver because you can find receiving talent later in the draft and elsewhere. But the Saints just haven't had that guy ever. I mean, Marcus Colson was the greatest receiver in the history of the franchise by the time he retired, but he was a 7th-round pick and didn't exactly have like top-end speed. He was a menace over the middle, which made him so awesome. He caught everything. But the true game breaker that you have to scheme around, a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson type. Look at what JSN's doing right now in his career. I mean, those Saints never had that guy. So I'd love to see him draft that guy to hopefully help supplement Tyler Shuck to elevate this offense. And if you went Olave, that first-round pick, and then you're also adding Devon Vele, and we'll see what Jalen Polk might do coming off injury, that's interesting to me. Like, you got to help your offense be better. I mean, Tyler Shuck did a lot, with smoke and mirrors this year. It's incredible to watch him elevate effectively a practice squad offense in the second half of his rookie season. Give him some help, man. You've drafted your bookend tackles. You're getting Eric McCoy back healthy. If you're concerned at one of the guard spots, go in free agency and spend money on a guard. But I think Brandon Staley, you're going to get reinforcements with Broughton coming back off of injury, a guy that this defensive staff drafted last year, which you hope can be an impactful guy for you. It'd be hard to justify for me anyway, using another first-round pick, another top 10 pick on a lineman. And you've missed there. Go fortify other parts of your roster. See if they can. All right, it's after further review. Boy, I love telling you about Supper Club. Was there on Wednesday last week. Actually, Erica and I, our anniversary is tomorrow. So Saturday, Erica and I will be at Supper Club for our anniversary dinner. Really looking forward to that. Chef Layton and the crew over at Supper Club are awesome. I tell you all the time, like if you're going to celebrate something, a birthday, an anniversary, graduation, a raise, a promotion at work, whatever it may be, there's no better place to go to celebrate all of life's important moments than Supper Club. Like if you're a foodie, you're going to love Supper Club because whatever you have there is going to be the best of whatever you order anywhere. And I know that the most common misconceptions about Supper Club that hopefully over these last 2 years we've been able to dispel. Number one, although club is in the name, it's not an exclusive club. Like you don't have to be a member to go. It's open to the public. Number two, people say, oh, do I have to wear a sport coat? No, you don't. The stated dress code on the website, you have a collared shirt, but you don't have to wear a sport coat. I love to throw on a sport coat when I go to dinner, so I do that when I go to Supper Club. There's always open seating at the bar. That's something they instituted about a year ago. Anytime, 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. You can always walk in, walk up without a reservation, have dinner at the bar, have a great cocktail, glass of wine. But man, you want to dine for the same price you could at any other fine dining restaurant. You can do it at Supper Club. Now, you want to go order the $5,000 bottle of wine, the $400 shots of cognac, or the Australian Wagyu. Yeah, I mean, you could do all. You want the Omi beef, which comes from this farm in Japan that you can only get at 2 restaurants in the U.S. You could do that. Absolutely. You want the greatest prime steak you'll have? You want an amazing Chilean sea bass, the lamb chops, the most incredible dining experience? You can do it at Supper Club for, the same price you would at any other fine dining restaurant. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. You still have Tigers and the Pros coming up in 15 minutes from right now. We'll give you a portal roundup. If you missed it, you just jumping aboard, you probably know LSU added quarterback Sam Leavitt, the number 1 player in the portal, committed to LSU earlier today. Landon Clark a day ago, so 2 quarterbacks on board. The Tigers are up to 28 portal additions. So I'll catch you up on what you need to know about this portal class and what needs remain coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. Stay with us. It's a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
New year, new home? Well, you know what to do. Call Darren James. Not only will Darren sell your home, he'll help you find a new home as well. And there's just nobody better. Not my opinion. That's a stone cold fact. Absolutely objective data. The Wall Street Journal Real Trends list, which come out every year, Darren James this past year was number 14 in America on the transaction side, meaning there were only 13 realtors in the entire United States of America. There's 1.5 million licensed realtors in America. Only 13 realtors in the entire country closed more homes than Darren James did a year ago. Stunning. He's right here in our market. So how does Darren get to the closing table more than anyone else? Well, he's got the right people on his team. He has all the processes in place. He's going to treat you great, and he's going to get results. 335-7666, that's Darren's number, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here from the Raisin Cane's studios. Big shout out to Relief Windows, Brandon Holly, the gang over there. We'll get you a transfer portal roundup from LSU here, everything you missed over the weekend. Some other gigantic news as Caden Durham is going to return to LSU. We'll tell you kind of what happened there with the running back spot, some offensive line chatter. That's all going to come up here in about 10 minutes after the top of the hour. Right now, Muso as Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, big day in the NFL yesterday in the wild card round, really in multiple of the games. We'll start with Jacksonville and Buffalo. Brian Thomas Jr., 2 receptions, 20 yards, and a touchdown. Those were his only 2 targets. He actually scored the first touchdown of the ball game to put the Jaguars up 7-3. That was a fantastic back-and-forth game, and somebody who was involved heavily in it was on the other side in Tre'Davious White. He just had a phenomenal day at cornerback for Buffalo. 2 tackles, but that really wasn't the story. The 3 passes defended were the story. He almost intercepted 2 of them. One of them stopped a touchdown, and then the third one caused the game-winning interception. He was in coverage, tipped the ball up in the air, and a teammate grabbed it. His fingerprints were all over that one. Kayshon Boutte, very, very good night on Sunday Night Football. 4 receptions for 66 yards. The 4 receptions were on 4 targets. He almost didn't play in this game. Was questionable for the majority of the week, but sure enough, they needed him, and he responded very well. Kayvon Chaisson was on the defensive side for New England. 2 sacks. I mean, they had Justin Herbert in hell, and Chaisson was a big part of that. So 2 sacks in the game for him as part of 3 tackles. He also had an additional hit on the quarterback as well. The sweepstakes for Alex Bregman is over. He will be a member of the Chicago Cubs. 5 years, $175 million. That's the deal for Breggs.
Oh, you hate to see it.
$35 million a year and a no-trade clause as well. Looks like the Sox, the Red Sox, that is, not Chicago, the Red Sox finished second. They were about $10 million short, and there was no trade clause. They are a small market team, and we'll move on from that. They spin like it. Naz Reid.
Devastated.
There you go. 17 points, 11 boards, double-double, 7 of 18. He was awesome again for the Timberwolves. They won it by 1 point, 31 minutes off the bench. How about that? Should have just started him. That's Tigers in the Pros.
What's all about rotations, Muse? That's why you bring him off the bench.
I know, but he should
about
start.
Rotations.
He should start.
No, they should bring him off the bench because he's the best 6 man in the NBA. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Hey, remember, kill mold, remove odor. Friends over at Parish Restoration, they do awesome work. If you want to get started simple, go to the website, parishrestoration.com. Just fill out the form on the homepage. They'll give you a quote. That's free for them to give you the quote. It doesn't matter if you have mold or think you might. Maybe it's odor. Or maybe you have like this sort of musky smell from the water intrusion, or maybe it's sweat or pet or smoke odor. Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Also, kill harmful pathogens, so flu, cold going around. If you've got that going around your home, your office, your business, come in, they can spray, knock out all that, kill it all. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. It said musky smell, musty. Musk is what Champ Kind missed from Ron Burgundy. He missed his Musk. It's good. You can say it. Good.
What? I didn't know what you were. I was just laughing. I didn't know what you wanted me to say there. Sorry. Yeah.
All good, Muse. They don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing.
Dynamite drop in there, Monty.
You nailed it. Good job, Muse. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Welcome.
Yep. Start calling you Matthew O'Neill or Paul Muso.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I'm hearing a lot of dead air here, Muse.
That's fair.
I mean, this interaction is feeling a lot like if I was interacting
I'm
with
not
Paul.
doing anything. I'm not doing anything to dispel that.
No, you are not.
Yeah.
I mean, you are just cementing that opinion. It's after further review. So someone who will talk is whoever's doing the Sports Center update. They're coming up here in just a moment. And then I'll talk after the top of the hour because you know I have words to say. It's AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. But I would also like to remind you of a great free tool that First South Farm Credit now has available. As a matter of fact, they shared this earlier today on their Facebook page. So it's on social media, and it's at their website as well. But if you go to the First South Farm Credit Facebook page, I shared it also. They have the ultimate recreational land buying guide, what to look for, what to avoid, how to finance. It's all right there on their Facebook page, the link to it. So if you want to check it out, please do so at firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com, or it's right there again on their Facebook page. You can see the link to it. Again, it's their ultimate recreational land buying guide. If you're thinking of buying land, it's a great place to start to sort of get a little bit of an idea of what to expect. firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com.